Hi, it's Charlie McCann from Stan James. Welcome to a quick preview of this week's big race meeting from Doncaster, culminating of course in Saturday's Ladbroke St Leger, the oldest British classic in the calendar, and of course the final classic of the 2010 flat season. Quickly on to today, Wednesday, the nursery that begins the card. The ground now good to soft, good in places. Remember they had a deluge 25mm on Monday night, but Clerk of the course David Williams reports that it's now good to soft, good in places. I don't know much about the effects of the draw at this stage. My Freedom is the 5-2 favourite for the opener, and I do think that this is maybe a bit better than a nursery horse. Godolphin historically of course have run some of their better juveniles. I remember they winning a Group 1 race with a horse that started off in nursery company, so I wouldn't be put off by My Freedom. He holds a Group 2 engagement. It's a fascinating opener, I must say, with Orientalist and Manachi Man as well. That Manachi Man very well back this morning, 8-1 into 6-1. Also the Scarborough Stakes is the big race of the day. Rose Blossom, again, it's how will he cope with the ground, and will she cope with the ground? Beaten by High Standing at Haydock. It really does go on the beat for bang, this horse. Has won over 6 furlongs, but is ideally I think best served by 5 furlongs. But will she get home? Just a slight concern if the ground is a bit tacky or holding, but I think the best horse in the race though. It's great to see the old timers, some of the great jockeys of recent years. Ernie Johnson going back of course to Blakeney in the Derby, and then we've got Pat Edery. I think Pat Edery in the ride he gave Dancing Bray, probably the most famous ride I think maybe in history, albeit with some of maybe the Piggott rides as well. We've got Kevin Darley, Paul Hannigan on his 30th birthday today. Happy birthday to him. And of course Darley, the last Northern based jockey 10 years ago to win the Jockeys Championship. And we've also got Charlie Swan of course with Istabrack as well. I'm also in another Godolphin runner I'm very keen on is Alzia, back to 10 furlongs, given a break. A lot of Godolphin horses are given a break and they come back in the late September, Octobers, and I think Alzia can get the best of Wigmore Hall in that fascinating conditions race. The betting suggests there's only 2 in the race, but there may be others. I think it's more open than that. But Alzia for me. On to tomorrow, Thursday. Again, Nathaniel I think should win the Open up to a mile. Frankel of Henry Cecil put him in his place on his racecourse debut. That was in the July course, but Frankel is very well considered by those in the Cecil camp. 3:45 the Park Hill Stakes. We've got Ramouche coming back for Tregonning. Tregoning's had at least 3 winners in the last fortnight, and maybe an Indian summer for him. I think he needs it. He hasn't been the best of form now for 2 years, Marcus Tregonning. And also Miesnar second of course at Epsom. I thought disappointing slightly since 4th in the Yorkshire Oaks last time, and before that I thought ran quite a lifeless race. They blamed the soft ground at the Curragh. I'd like to take it on with Roses for the Lady, although again the ground, if the guy's out, this horse is she's a much better, she's a 4-year-old, she's still a filly, she's much better on a softer ground. But if there is maybe some showers forecast now Wednesday evening, if there is some rain, then maybe Rose for the Lady. And I've got a very, very topical tip, of course, given it's less than 6 months to Valentine's Day. Ragsar as well, 4:20 in the fillies nursery. I think this is beautifully bred half sister to Dubai Millennium, and the second horse lagged up okay. There was circumstance behind when it won so impressively at Lingfield yesterday. That's Ragsar, who won on her 3rd start at Kempton. On to Friday, Doncaster Cup, the feature race. Decks aren't quite through yet. Last year's winner, Ascotau, another Tregonning horse, has been won the corresponding race last year. Beat Darley's Son. Darley's Son, of course, is a 3-year-old, carry very little weight. We've got the Lonsdale Stakes winner. The first and second are likely to take each other on again. That's a pinion pole, carries a £3 penalty for Frankie, and also Samuel, who could travel into the race really well. This is 2.25 miles of fascinating events. That the Mayhill as well. Gosden won this a couple of years ago with Rainbow View, and he's got a couple in the race. Morning Charm and Midnight Caller. Midnight Caller very impressive last time, but do look out again for Godolphin with White Moonstone. Won the Sweet Solara last time, and I think Frankie thinks they may have some really good juveniles this year for Godolphin, and they do seem to be targeting at this meeting. Frankel runs in the 4:25 as well, and again, if Nathaniel was franked to form early in the day, that Frankel will go off very short. But Henry Cecil and connections, I think, something of it. On to the final day, and of course, at Ladbroke St Leger is the big race. The Champagne Stakes, of course, though, is the opener, and Sarmid again. I know Frankie is very keen on this horse. He went down to the post to Newbury, and I think it's fair to say he told the jockeys on the way to post and at the post that he thought Sarmid was something of a machine. Poet's Voice won the race last year for Godolphin, and I think Sarmid ought to win that. Waiter's Dream, the Acomb Stakes win hopefully, and Aidan O'Brien's got 3. I don't think they're the top notches. Maybe he'll bring one of his top notch juveniles over for the Racing Post Trophy, which of course he won with St Nicholas Abbey last year. Portland is the big betting race of the day. Again, we haven't had the decks through for that. The Ladbroke St Leger is the big race though of the meeting. The Group 1 race through Wilding, 6-4 now from 13 to 8 with ourselves at StanJames.com. Great voltage winner last time, third in the Derby. Everything looks to be there. But I was at the Naves mine, and people say this horse is going to come on for the run. Not convinced. Look fit, tuned in a minute. Off to Cosmo, third in the Gordon last time, running on. Maybe they'll put some headgear on Gosden for that. Snow Fairy second to midday in the Yorkshire Oaks. One dual classic winner, of course, won the Epsom Oaks and the Irish Oaks. Joshua Tree 6s, Midas Touch 7s. They were behind Rewilding. A lot of people think Joshua Tree will come on for the run. Of course, won the Royal Lodge last season. But I think it's fair to say the boys in blue, it could be a very, very, very big week for them. Rewilding now 6-4 for the St Leger on Saturday, the oldest British classic. But will the boys in blue? Said Bin Saror has trained the winner 5 times. Frankie's ridden the winner 5 times. But the new kid on the block for Godolphin, Mohammed Al Zarouni, will it be the first classic winner for him? Be lucky.